Okay guys, so I am getting ready to start my day thrifting, but long story short, last night I ran over a skunk. Don't worry, it was already dead. I just happened to run over it again, and I tried to miss it. I didn't, and my whole car stinks. So not a great start to the day, but the first thing I'm gonna do today is get a car wash because I really need one. We're gonna see if it fixes the scent. Hopefully it does. If not, I'm gonna have to I think I read spray like dish soap and baking soda underneath my car, go to a manual car wash and spray the underside of it. We'll see. I'm just glad I didn't like hit one completely and have all of the scent, but we'll see how it goes. But not a great start, and we'll go thrifting here in a minute. Okay, so I'm not sure if that worked. We're gonna give it like a couple hours for everything to air out and see, but I needed to do that anyways and vacuum my car. So I spend a lot of time in my car, like a lot of time every week. So keeping it clean is a priority, especially because we are transporting clothing back and forth. I definitely don't want clothing absorbing any of that smell. Now we are gonna go thrifting after we got that done and see what we can find today to sell online. So I started off by going to a consignment shop. I like going to consignment shops and looking at their clearance section, and one of them that I go to really pays off. But as you can see, this is a full price item at this location, and they price things way, way up. So clearance is pretty much the only way that I can shop. One of the things I have noticed about consignment shops is the stuff that gets marked on clearance is usually the more mature items, the stuff that younger people are not looking for. And so those are the brands that I like to snatch up. I found this Elaine Fisher jacket, and I'm definitely going to get this. I also came across this Harley Davidson women's shirt. However, Harley Davidson in women's, and just honestly in general, if it's not a leather jacket or something really special as a graphic, does not do well. So I try to focus on the larger sizes or something more rare, so I'm going to leave that one behind. Here's another one of those mature brands. This is Bob Mackie. It is an art to wear brand. This is a size extra large, so I'm going to get this. Another more mature brand, this is Fresh Produce, and this brand has actually been going downhill for me, but this is a more substantial piece. It is an Anchor sweatshirt, and so I did decide to get this one. Here is a Ralph Lauren sweater. I'm picking this one up because it is a cashmere blend, which is going to really increase the value. This is also like a gold metallic cable knit, so I think I'm going to get at least $40 for that. Here's another Elaine Fisher piece, and like I said, I pretty much pick up anything in this brand. This is just a plain cotton top, but with a 75% off discount that I'm getting through clearance, this is not going to end up being much. This is a Cabana by Crown and Ivy sweatshirt, and it was new with tags, so I did decide to get it. Now, I didn't end up getting this particular piece because it was just too plain, but if you guys come across Gimmicks by BKE, this is sold at Buckle, and surprisingly, these tops have a pretty good following, especially when they are in larger sizes. This is definitely something I'd pick up at the bins, but this was just like a plain white tank top, so I decided to leave that one behind. Here we've got a Logo by Lori Goldstein size extra large tunic. I do like picking up this brand when I can get it for pretty cheap, and with the 75% off, this was going to be a really cheap item that I can flip for about 20 bucks. Found a Moth by Anthropologie piece, and I did end up getting this because it was pretty cheap, and I think this one was a wool blend. I actually ended up finding a lot of Moth and Anthropologie pieces that day. Here is a We The Free thermal top that I found with a contrast cuff. If you guys see a contrast cuff on stuff, it usually does add value, especially in Free People, so I did get this one. I know I mentioned not picking up Harley before, but this is a women's larger size extra large, which helps to up the value. Plus it had this tattoo print graphic on it, which I think is going to be a really good seller. I did end up getting this, not sure how much I'm going to list it for, but I would say anything with that tattoo print graphic is pretty popular right now. And here's how the cart is looking so far. And like I said, I did end up finding quite a few Anthropologie pieces, and because I was getting them cheap and I felt like they were substantial pieces, I did go ahead and pick all of those up. I felt like they were pretty on fall trend. The only one I left behind was this gold vest, and that's because they wanted way too much for it. Later on, I found this Lafayette 148 women's vest, and this is a great designer brand to pick up. Highly recommend. I came across quite a few Miss Me women's smaller size jeans and Rock Revival, but after doing comps on the particular styles and sizes, they both did not perform well, so I put them back. And it just goes to show that just because a brand of jeans is good in the men's department does not mean it's good in women's. Okay, so I did really good in there. I think I got like 25-ish items. We'll see. I am heading to the next thrift store now. So this place is really small. I only come here on Fridays because they do like a buy one get one sale. Stuff's really cheap anyways, but the section's really small. But sometimes it's worth it if you're getting it for super cheap. So I'm gonna go in and see if they have anything. So I did find a couple things at this location, like these pair of Cabela's women's camo pants. These were a pretty good pickup. I looked at shoes. They had a ton of shoes. Did not find any shoes. Unfortunately, all the things that I ended up picking up this day were not a part of that clearance sale. So I did get some stuff, but it wasn't cheap. This next one is a Brooks Brothers merino wool sweater vest. I did end up getting this. I thought that was a pretty good find. Ralph Lauren piece in a larger size. Definitely going to pick that up. And a women's affliction kind of thermal top. All right, so I only got 4 items at that one, none of which were included with the sale. But it was all right because I ended up getting some pretty decent things. I think I got 4 things in the store. We're going to check out the next thrift store. This next one that I'm going to is really nearby. It is typically priced really up. It is an Ohio thrift chain store, which they're like all over Ohio. That's why they're called Ohio Thrift. But they typically have like liquidation stuff, which I'm not a big fan of, so we don't go to a whole lot of Ohio Thrift. But since I'm already here, I'm just gonna pop in, see if there's anything in like the more valuable sections, like the coats, the dresses, and the shoes. Really quickly, I found this Polo by Ralph Lauren baby snowsuit, which was filled with down feathers, which is always going to up the value. It was marked for about 20 bucks, but this was a half off color, so I got that for about $10. I expect to sell it for about 50. Also found this Lululemon tank, but it was super faded, super old, and we are going to leave that behind. These do not sell well for me anymore. And lastly, at the end of the aisle, I found this Sundance women's extra large embroidered top. That was an awesome find. I think I should be able to get at least 40 for that. This next one I found in the handbag section. This was an awesome find, and I really wish I could have picked this up. This was a Henry Bendel. I actually looked up the exact style, cannot remember what it was called. If I can find it, I will pop it up here on the screen. But this style had a really good sell-through rate and a really good retail and resale value, but it was supposed to be a backpack and it was missing its straps. And I tried to justify getting it without the straps, could not justify getting it, so I ended up leaving it behind, but that would have been a really great flip. I think they were asking like about $50 for that, but I should have been able to sell it for somewhere between $150 and $200 really quickly. I found these pair of Hokas in the women's shoe section. Really great size and honestly outstanding condition. It seemed like they had hardly been worn, but they were missing the insoles. I thought I would end up getting them without the insoles and just buying replacement insoles, but I ended up talking myself out of it because that's just too much work. Got some shadows going on, but I got just 2 lonely items in there, and I spent actually a lot of time in there, so to me it was not worth it, which is why I don't normally go to this one. We are going to go to one that I have a little bit more luck with and see what we can get there. Right off the bat, I found this men's Tommy Bahama silk shirt. I think this one was a sale color, so I got it even cheaper than that. Still pretty cheap. I found a lot of discount stuff at this store, but it was 100% silk, size large. It's pretty plain, so I'll probably only list it for about 30, but Tommy Bahama 100% silk men's shirts are always a good find. I came across this men's Polo Ralph Lauren sweatshirt and I didn't end up getting that. And even though it is faded, this stuff moves really quickly. I'll probably list this one for between 30 and 35. I've made it a habit to stop in the linens department now, and here I am wrestling with these curtains, trying to figure out what they are. They feel very high quality and kind of linen-y. I don't think they ended up being linen. I think they were just cotton, but that was how they felt. Nice bohemian texture, and I did end up finding the brand. After doing some research, I decided to leave them behind, but that was something I heavily considered getting. Here is a Madewell top that I found super cheap. I think I only paid $1.50 for that one, and it seemed to be a pretty desirable top. Should only be like a $25 flip, but I ended up getting it. I also ended up getting these pair of Club Monaco women's pull-on, like kind of paper bag-ish dressy pants. Club Monaco is a brand I definitely tend to sit on, but it always ends up performing really well as far as getting my money back and quite a bit of return on investment. So I did get those at that cheap cost. I found this athletic sweatshirt and it ended up being heavily stained, so I had to leave that behind, but that is a great brand to look for in the athletic wear section. Here is a J. Jill Love Linen piece. This is one of my favorite lines to find in J. Jill, and since we were getting it super cheap, I definitely picked that one up. I also thought it was a pretty good color, and it was just a pop over button up top. Found this Talbot's extra large embroidered top for super cheap. I like picking up this brand in larger sizes, and at that price, that is a definite yes. I'll probably list this for about $25. Alright, you guys, so I have like no good angle to film this because the sun's just going to be on my face, but I just got done thrifting at the last thrift store. I was going to go to one more thrift store, but I didn't realize that they closed at like a really weird time, and they're about to close, so I'm definitely not going to be able to go in there and get any more stuff, so I'm going to call it for the day. All in all, I had a pretty good trip. I got a few items in this store, not much, some bread and butter pieces, a lot of stuff. As you guys saw, was the half off color, so it was like $1-2. It was really cheap. It's probably only going to sell for like $20-25, but still really good stuff. In total, I spent about $170 like total for the whole day. I expect all of that stuff to sell for at least $1,200, so that's a pretty good return on investment. I'm trying to do more thrift with me, so if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below and hit the notification bell. That way you'll get notified every time these videos go live. When I make videos, if I don't see a lot of likes, I try not to make videos like that anymore. So if you do like something, make sure to give it a thumbs up. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna call it a day here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.